All right, congrats to the top 10. But now show me, baby. Where am I at? Oh, Lord. Let's go. 81st. Oats curry. Oats curry, baby. We done did it. We done did it. Oh my god. Oh my god. And you know, we appreciate it, but we must give a special thank you to this lovely gentleman right here. If the camera wants to focus on him. This lovely gentleman carried me. Well, as you guys saw, I managed to do it. I managed to get top 100 for the first time since, I want to say, April of last year. So it's been quite a while since I seriously grinded ranked. I think the previous time I tried to grind a little bit was for the Blaster Blade Liberator season, which was like, you know, toward the end of last year. But, you know, they revealed the rank reward for the early March season. I looked very respectfully at the Luquier alt art, and I was like, you know what? Let's do this again. Let's try and top 100. The meta feels pretty good, and let's have a go at it. So, as you can see, it worked out. I managed to do it, but I want to talk a little bit about my experience because I feel like I wanted to do this one the Azel season when I did this last time, and then I never really ended up doing it. So I was like, you know what, at least this time around I can kind of talk about it a little bit. So the deck that I mainly climbed with, of course, was Link Joker. So Link Joker Chaos, I'm going to show the list in just a bit. I used this deck basically from Legend 0 to Legend 28, and those first 28 legends, I don't know why this is loading for so long. All right, so there we go. You can see here the 213 wins were basically almost all done during this rank season. So actually, I mostly played this deck during this rank season. Didn't really play Chaos that much before. A few games here and there, maybe like 10 or so, but the majority, like those 200, were mostly done in this rank season. So Legend 0 to 28 was pretty easy, I want to say, because I was playing Chaos, which was a deck from the previous sets that, you know, people already had experience playing against. However, because the first week of the new set, a lot of people are playing with the brand new stuff. So I was playing against like Maelstroms, which you absolutely counter with this deck. I was playing against DP, which you counter with this deck unless they like go into reverse Dayusha and like kill your intercepts and then like, you know, like lock up all the remaining stuff just to like hit you with a crit or something. Then I played quite a few of the Link Joker mirrors. I think looking at the clan list here, Genesis was quite popular as well. Genesis actually came up a fair bit. Minerva was quite popular in those like first couple weeks. Yeah, DP, as I said, was quite popular. Golds were probably is the worst matchup for this deck, definitely, because normally when you're playing Chaos, you have to like play it slow, right? You don't like rush early. You usually like play one, you know, you ride, swing, pass. Then grade 2, ride, swing, pass. Then grade 3 kind of depends if you go in Chaos first or Nebula first or Infinite Zero first, and then you kind of like adapt to that situation. But you're generally playing slow. You're outgrinding your opponent, forcing them to make mistakes, and then locking up their front row. They don't give you 4 damage. You just suddenly ride Chaos, lock their front row, and then like push in damage to ask for PGs, and then finish the game next turn by relocking stuff or using Chaos's limit break after. But Link, like with Golds, because they all play Azel Scissors, you know, even Liberators play Azel Scissors, so they have the unlocker. And also Royals, also if they play like the Sanctuary of Light deck, they have unlockers as well. This deck in particular, you have to completely change your game plan. You just rush. You play a bunch of 10k attackers on grade 1s, 12k attackers on grade 2s. You play your grade 2s aggressively. You forget about the call skills. Like Colony Maker is literally just there to bash face, honestly, not even to like superior call. And you have to just bash face because especially Azel self damages a lot, and therefore will try to just like, you know, use the limit break early to unlock and all that stuff. So you have to just like rush them early, let them do their unlock shenanigans, and you want to sit on Infinite Zero until you're ready to end the game, because your locks against Golds aren't normal locks. They're basically like intercept sealers. Like you're sealing that intercept for that turn, and the next turn they're going to unlock it anyway. So you have to think of it like it's an intercept sealer that like will help you deliver the win. So oftentimes against Golds or Azel in particular, you just go Infinite Zero into Infinite Zero into Infinite Zero and just like loop that basically. Aqua Force was quite popular as well because Maelstrom just came out. A lot of people were testing with Maelstrom. Then Sanctuary of Light came up here and there. That's also like a similar matchup as Azel, but they don't have as many unlockers, or like they don't unlock the whole board, so that's another thing there. Kagero was fairly popular. Overall wasn't a bad matchup, except when Nouvelle uses their Candle Blast 3, Soul Blast 3 discard, like Persona Blast effect. That hurts actually pretty bad against this deck because you basically lose like all your Palladiums and stuff. And the worst part, honestly, the worst matchup for this deck outside of Golds is Crossride. cross rides are very hard to deal with because you have to go into Nebula Lord, so then you lose like the extra like advantage from chaos and stuff like that. So you have to go into Nebula Lord to actually like build up big power columns that can get over the cross ride numbers, because otherwise chaos on its own doesn't draw many cards, and every card is very important in actually like executing your strategy. So yeah, it's very hard. Like Nouvelle's 13k base, you know, and general cross rides, like that's why Pale Moon was pretty tough, because they can go into cross ride numbers on turn 3 already by going into a reverse and then soul charging a regular Luquier from the field, and that definitely hurts quite a bit. Revengers were pretty fine. Generally just kind of wait for them to like go a bit too aggressive, lock up their front row, and that's it. DI has gone extinct. Ashura Kai's I ran into a couple times after the nerf, and just kind of like felt okay, felt pretty fair, not super strong or anything. And yeah, I think that mostly like summarizes the decks I played against with chaos. Now let me show you the deck list. Also, before I show you the list, a quick shout out to these Tokuha sleeves. I think you guys have them in global right now, actually. I don't know why, what it is about the Tokuha sleeves, but something about them just kept me motivated during times when motivation was not very high. And I don't know, sometimes you see them on the field and you're just like, I will win this game. But anyway, the deck list here for my chaos list, in case you want to, you know, use it when it comes out next set in global, is the following, which is basically the same as my deck and fight. So this was the list taken from one of the Zero Championship top players, and it worked out really well. So 4 Palladiums, because it's your main form of relocking, because otherwise you have to counterblast 1 and discard 2 for chaos, or like if you go into like break ride into Nebula Lord, your only way to keep locking front rows is through these guys. So Palladium is really important. Definitely you need it as a 4 of. 3 10k attackers, because against matchups like Azel, you need that aggro, you need the ability to just push damage to the face really quick, and this sometimes helped the cross ride matchups where you would call them out and then lock stuff to be able to build up like 18k plus columns to actually hit over the cross ride numbers, or 23k if possible. So that's also quite good. Colony Maker to fetch out those grade 1s. You call this early, like you only realistically get to search on turn 4. Keep that in mind, that you're generally not locking until turn 4 optimally. So these are, you run it as a 4 of because you want to have it for that turn 4, but earlier than that, if you have like 2 copies or even 1 copy in hand, call it early to just attack with, or have as an interceptor to not die against certain matchups, and then you'll probably draw into one later on anyway, or you might just have a bunch of grade 1s in hand. 4 12k attackers, because we need that for the aggro. 4 10k vanillas, this is so good against a lot of matchups. Against Luquier, which was really popular, they have Marichka, which resets their columns and it makes them able to like swing into both intercepts and then swing into the face a bunch of times. This, when they have a fully locked back row, or even like the rear guard back row is locked and then like they just have like the front rows, this makes it so that they don't hit with that Marichka unless they use Luquier reverse skill to call it out, which is really nice. So 4 10k vanilla in this deck is, in my opinion, a must. Like this feels really good, especially in this deck. And then 1 sniper, this came up sometimes, like sometimes to punish the opponent if they called a grade 3 or grade 1 to the front, but that didn't really happen that often, to be honest. Like most people are very careful when playing against chaos, and like obviously that makes sense, right? It's very logical. Then of course Infinite Zero is your break ride. You know, you optimally go into this as much as possible. If people deny you limit break, then you just like ride up on 3 into the Chaos Breaker. And yes, I did turn one of my copies into SP after achieving this. But yeah, Chaos Breaker is very important. You know, you use his, usually try to relock as much as possible. You draw when your hand is low, and if you're using the limit break to draw, you're usually popping stuff in the back. So try to relock the front row to not let them attack more, but pop the stuff in the back, especially like starters and stuff like that you locked with, like, you know, Infinite Zero and stuff like that. Then you can use those, you know, this counterblast to like pop that, draw 1, and then you basically have more resources to, like, you know, whether it's fill up your board or, you know, discard 2 to lock again. Nebula Lord for the cross ride matchups is very important, otherwise not so much. He's still good because he like turns any amount of locks into like more and more power and a potential draw as well. It's good for shutting down annoying back rows as well, and it's just a good card overall. It's gonna be sad to cut this in the future. I feel like I really want to keep playing Nebula Lord in the future as well. I really realized while playing this deck how good it actually is. And then the one of the Multiverse Dragon. So this is basically like Knight of Entropy, but with a limit break and a Starvader name. Starvader name is really important because you need to discard it for chaos. The only non-Starvader you run is the Sniper, and even this 1 copy sometimes has literally not let me lock with chaos because it's like the only Starvaders, like the only cards I have in hand, and one of them is the Starvader, so it's like, well, I have to discard Starvaders for chaos effects, so it sucks. But yeah, so The Multiverse Dragon is just on place, Vanguard Circle, Limb Break 4, Counterblast 2, lock a front row rearguard, and get 5k. So this is good to finish games sometimes, like if you don't have enough cards in hand to discard for Chaos's skill, or like you have two, but one of them you need an attacker to finish the game, you can ride into this, lock the front row, then swing with another rearguard into the intercept, then get 2 swings to the face that will potentially win the game for you. So yeah, very self-explanatory. This deck is absolutely amazing. I accidentally have a lot of SPs for it. The only one I really like properly built and made an SP of is Chaos itself, because I'm very thankful to this card for carrying me. So yeah, Chaos is very good. If you're planning to climb in the future, you're getting these cards, you're getting Chaos next set when the anniversary happens, so use that sparking wisely because it will definitely pay off. And so then after Legend 28, somehow it felt like everyone became a Zero Championship actual like top level player. Everyone started to know how to play against Chaos. We were on like day 10 of the ladder or so, so it was like the last 5 days. Everyone suddenly knew how to play against Chaos. I just wasn't winning anymore. I couldn't win, nothing was going well, and I was like, okay, I think it's time to stop being a Chaos one trick and switch. And so I switched to what a friend of mine, Matt, one of our actual Twitch subs, has been climbing with and also got top 100 with, which was Silver Thorns. So Silver Thorns got an amazing boost out of this set. I will be doing a deck and fight on this very soon in the coming week, but this deck is very good. Not so much because of Venus. Honestly, Venus is a very average card. She'd like her skill is just worse than Reverse Luquier for like filling up your board, and like you only ride her because of the plus 5k she gets from calling stuff out of the soul. The real MVP of this deck is Zelma. Zelma is a purple trapezist for Silver Thorns that is 7k base power, and she is amazing. So I use Silver Thorns from Legend 28 to 31, so I climbed 3 legends with this, and honestly there were times when I think there was one day where it took me 6 hours to climb 2 legends. Like that's how much of a back and forth actual hellfest JP ladder can be, and it's a pain in the ass. So Silver Thorns are pretty straightforward. This starter, let's look at the top 5 to add a grade 1 through 3 Silver Thorn to your soul, so you get to fill it up quite easily on early turns. Put that into the soul if you're playing against like Kagero or like Narukami, or against like Narukami not so much, but like Link Joker, stuff like that. You want to get rid of this as soon as possible against the removal matchups. Then of course I already said Zelma is the MVP. You basically can go like Marichka, who can, after hitting Kalmas 1 to call Silver Thorn from soul, right? So you hit Kalmas 1, either reset into her or reset into Zelma to hit another rear, then reset into her or reset into Zelma to hit the Vanguard. So, and by resetting into Zelma, you call the Zelma out, target the Marichka, Marichka goes into the soul, Marichka then Zelma calls out the same Marichka out, and then you can hit again to do the same reset. So you reset, and then at the same time your Lion gets powered up on the side. He gains 3k every time your Silver Thorn is cold. So he gets bigger. Your Luquier reverse or your regular Luquier or your Venus Luquier all get 5k every time something gets called out. Regular Luquier only gains 3k. By the way, here's the rank reward one. So you want to be sitting on them for the extra power if you're going for these Marichka turns. Otherwise, 10k vanillas are still important. Some matchups just need to put down a booster for that, and they don't have it sometimes. Then the Dragon is really good. 12k attacker sometimes is exactly what you need in those multi-attack scenarios. Of course, Irina is still important because she gets to draw, like basically fill up your soul. You can recycle her effect, you know, by calling her out of the soul a bunch and just like using that effect. Ana is a grade 1 Marichka that you sometimes rely on. There's one play you can do where you call anything in front of Ana. Ana hits, then you do Ana effect, target the Zelma in your soul, call out the Zelma in a empty rearguard circle in the front on the other side of the field, then use Zelma's effect to target the Ana, put the Ana into the soul, call her out behind the Zelma, then attack with that column, hit, then you target another Zelma, call it out to a rearguard circle, and then target Ana, reset it, and then you can hit again to the face. So you're kind of like, it's an extra hoop to go through, but to do the same thing as Marichka basically, but that's the way you do that. And then of course for grade 3s, we have a bunch of Luquiers because they gain 5k, like Reverse Luquier is the best one to sit on, and then you naturally soul charge into the regular Luquier, but sitting on regular Luquier isn't bad either because she gains 3k every time you call something from the soul as well, so it still works out pretty well. Now a lot of JP lists either run 12 Luquiers or they run 4 of the break ride. I only run 2 of the break ride because I felt that it's not that important to sit on the break ride. I don't know, it felt like there are games when you do and there are games when you don't. Like some games you just want to go to the Luquier ASAP and finish your opponent with the Marichka, like reset, hit, use all your counterblast on Marichka and just win with that basically. And then the break ride resets one column basically. I can show you a clip here where it basically shows like the strength of Eva. Yep. Come on, go faster. I guess this is fine. Yup. faster. Nice. Yes. Nice. Yes. Yes. And so that's what makes Ava quite good, but then when you don't have Marichka and you don't have Ana to actually do those multi-attacks, I use Alice. Alice actually works out pretty well because especially if you're going first, you can go Alice into face, into resetting into like literally anything. You can reset her into a Zelma, who then resets the other rearguard that you attacked with that attacked into one of the rearguards to then reset into like, I don't know, Ana or Marichka that you might have now, or you just couldn't dig out of the soul. Sometimes they're stuck in your soul because you rode them and then you need to dig them out somehow. So she can be a combo starter and I like her. It's like my heals are split 2 and 2. I don't think this is necessarily like the best build, but it's definitely up there, and I think like there's a lot of different ways to build your grade 3s in this deck, and grade 1s and grade 2s to be honest. So experiment with different things, but this list took me about 3 legends, so from 28 to 31. Then I got stuck again, and so then I just went back to the old reliable Revengers. Nothing special about this list, honestly. It's just Revengers. I got like 2 legends with Revengers and it felt quite good, and then the last 4 legends, 33 to 37, I got with Chaos again. So those were my legend climbs. I finished at legend 37 and I placed at 81st, so top 100 as I wanted, just for the banner and the SP Luquiers. And now the general experience honestly was interesting. The first 10 days, the first 28 legends was a breeze. I was playing it and I was like, I can't believe how much fun I'm having climbing, because I was like, this is going super well, everything's going smoothly, you know, I feel like I'm outplaying my opponents, I'm playing super well. But then once I started getting stuck, like when you spend like 3-4 hours without going up a legend, that shit sucks. It's actual despair, honestly. Like I think that was what made me get closer and closer to burnout and just feel so damn bad. And especially the last few days where like I wasn't be able to climb that much, or I had like some busy days as well where I just couldn't play the game too much. You know, it's like, man, when you're creeping up to like the bottom of top 100 and you keep on losing, it's like, uh-oh, like this feels really, really bad. So honestly, it's nerve-wracking as hell, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for the people that are now in global aiming for top 28 to get to the 0 championship, because that is a real struggle and y'all are actual warriors. Like if you see someone report that they made it to top 28, they dedicated 2 weeks of their life just now to actually make it to that finals for that championship, because god, this is really, really tough. Even getting to top 100 is tough. Like if you have a job, if you are in university or in school, this takes up so much of your time, and it's like you can play a fair bit while doing other stuff, right? But there's some decks where like you need to be always active. Like Silver Thorns, I legit had to concentrate on to play correctly, whereas like Chaos, oh, opponent misplays, okay, whatever, I can kind of like have it on in the background and play it. But man, like, you know, I tried to play as much as I could while working and while doing other stuff, but it's like, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So yeah, overall the meta also feels really good right now. After the restriction list and the new set came out, the meta has felt really, really nice. It feels very diverse. There's a lot of different decks, and this gives me a good impression on how to like structure my tier list for tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow, not at the end of the month. But this really gave me a good impression of like what the meta is. Chaos still feels really good. Golds feel amazing. I think Liberators are by far the best deck right now, honestly. Like that deck is insane. Revengers I played for a bit and I was like, oh, this deck is still pretty good too. Silver Thorns are incredibly good. Kaiser sadly feels like a tier 2 deck and stuff like that. Maelstrom has been really, really popular though, and like Maelstrom I feel like auto loses to Link Joker because it just like, you know, it locks its own stuff. You use Limit Break to pop it, and then like they are so reliant on a field that and like attacking aggressively that you just lock up their front row and they fold. Like they can't do anything after that because they have no retire, and like they have no way to like get past your intercepts to hit you with the glory and stuff like that. It's just like, it's a very strong deck, but it has a very bad matchup when it comes to Chaos. And also the reason why I recommend climbing with Chaos is because not a lot of decks in this game have like complete auto win matchups. Like with Chaos, you straight up have a bunch of matchups where you auto win. Like they do one thing wrong and you win. Like there's just no coming back from a locked up front row if you don't play right. Like if you just fumble around, play a bunch of cards without thinking, you're gonna get punished for it. Like no deck punishes like misplays more than Chaos, and I think because of that, if you want a smooth climbing experience, Chaos feels really good for that. It might take some time to get used to it and like to learn it properly, but if you learn how to properly punish your opponents for their misplays, this deck is ruthless and it really, really feels good to play. So if you want to climb going forward, like 0 championship or like just to get top 100 or top 1000, I really recommend Chaos. It's very, very fun. It felt really good. I can still play it now without feeling bad, you know, like I didn't burn out of it by playing it a lot or anything. It's still actually my favorite deck to play right now in ladder, and I think if I ever had to climb again, I would probably be playing it more. But yeah, the deck feels really amazing and just overall really, really good. And the experience itself, honestly, the nice thing is that even though I feel a little bit burnt out, not really burnt out, I feel a bit more tired. I think burnt out isn't the right word because I'm finally just booting up the game and playing more, but I don't feel the pressure to play it right now because like while I was climbing, I had the pressure like, oh, I have to play, I have to get another legend or I won't make it, right? Now it's like, I only play when I'm in the mood for it, which is generally when I'm streaming or if I'm just having like an idle moment in the morning, drinking my coffee. If I don't have anything to watch on YouTube or whatever, then I can, you know, like hop on for a couple games, you know, try out some different decks and stuff like that. But it's really fun. It's really, really fun. The zero ladder honestly felt quite good, and I'm glad that this meta in particular, like the entire Link Joker meta, has felt pretty good outside of a Sure Kaiser. I'm praying for you guys in Global that a Sure Kaiser comes in nerfed, because otherwise the meta is quite good. Also, Raging nerf made the meta much better as well, in my opinion. So this meta right now, post Raging nerf, post a Sure nerf in set 16, really good. I recommend climbing. If you're waiting to qualify for the Zero Championship, I would maybe even recommend that you wait for the month of set 16, because this meta feels really good. I can't speak for set 17 yet because it's not out yet, but we'll find out in the future. But yeah, this felt honestly really, really nice. Overall, a very pleasant playing experience. I did feel tilted sometimes. I did feel like throwing my phone at the wall sometimes, you know, when your opponent, I had one game, my opponent triple 6 damage healed. Like, I was like, how in the hell do you have 3 heals stacked at the top for 6 damage heal 3 times in a row? Literally, I went swing 6 damage heal, swing 6 damage heal, swing 6 damage heal, like, you know, like it's hard to balance your emotions sometimes. And shout outs to my Twitch subscribers and YouTube channel members. If you don't know, I do special like exclusive streams on Discord for them, and so sometimes I would like stream my playing experience on Discord, and having them watch and just like, you know, make random comments about what's happening on the screen definitely helped my mental fortitude. I'm gonna say that much. And also they had to listen to me, you know, just like rage and like say shit about like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm losing to this, like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose it, I can't play this game anymore, I'm gonna uninstall, like, you know, that kind of stuff where you just like, you're absolutely losing it. Yeah, shout outs to y'all for keeping me sane. Honestly, that's a really important thing. But yeah, above all else, good luck to everyone climbing. I wish you all the best, and the mental fortitude, do not burn out. I really recommend setting quotas. I had a quota of like, the first week I climbed super fast, and then I basically said, okay, 3 legends per day should do it. And then I actually scaled it down to 2 legends per day, should be fine, because I looked at the previous rankings of previous seasons. And yeah, you can definitely like calculate, look at previous seasons and calculate how long like people are taking, or look at the season now from start to finish and see how fast people are climbing. How fast does top 100 increase? How fast does top 28 increase? And so you can give yourself a quota of how many legends you should climb in a day, and that will let you, like, if you get them done early, you can just turn off the game and not look at it anymore. And that is definitely like a good thing for you, honestly, definitely a really good thing. So try to set quotas, try to like control your pace, don't go overboard because it's easy to burn out that way. If you can, play the deck with the most win rate, play the best deck in the meta because it will be better for your mental safety, I want to say, almost. But otherwise, if you like have a deck you really enjoy, you can climb with that, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about someone that's like just wanting to like jump into ladder with like no attachments to any decks. Definitely I recommend taking the best decks, because that will be the best win chance you have, and if you learn to pilot them well, you'll probably have a better matchup against other people that don't know as well. So yeah, that's honestly it, all I really wanted to talk about in this video of my top 100 climbing experience. It's been a wild one, I'll just say that much, but I'm glad it's over. But I'm also glad I did it. It's nice to actually climb a bit, and especially for a unit that I really like, such as Luquier. But I'm probably never doing this again, because this was definitely like, when you got a lot of other stuff to do for work, etc., it's pretty damn heavy. But anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.